Welcome back. Fraud, forgery, and a short administrative stint fraught with entitlement. For Puja Khedkar, her short stint as IAS officer seems to be heading for an unceremonious ending. The UPSC today filed an FIR against the probationary IAS officer Puja Khedkar and served a show cause notice to cancel her candidature from the civil services exam in 2022 and to debar her from future exams. Based on the Public Service Commission's complaint, Delhi Police has registered a case against her in connection with cheating, fraudulence and forgery. When we confronted her about her wrongdoings, here is what she had to say.
UPSC ने आपके ऊपर FIR claim की है, क्या कहेंगे आप?
Judiciary will take its course. Whatever it is there, I will reply to them. I am coming back. I'll give you the bite. Please.
UPSC ने आपके ऊपर FIR claim की है, क्या कहेंगे आप?
Judiciary will take its course. Whatever it is there, I will reply to them. I am coming back. I'll give you the bite.
पुणे में पिंपरी चिंचवड एरिया में एक थर्मोवेरिटा नाम की कंपनी को आज प्रशासन ने सील कर दिया। ये सील जो कंपनी हो गई है, इसके साथ जो ट्रेनी IAS ऑफिसर थी जिस पर अभी यूपीएससी ने कार्रवाई की है, उसका सीधा संबंध है। इसी कंपनी पर एक राशन कार्ड निकाला था, वही राशन कार्ड दिखाकर पूजा ने पिंपरी चिंचवड के यशवंतराव चौहान रुग्णालय से अपना एक डिसेबिलिटी सर्टिफिकेट दिया था। एक्चुअली ये राशन कार्ड ये सर्टिफिकेट नहीं होता, एक अच्छा सबूत नहीं होता, उसके लिए कोई ना कोई फ़ोटो आईडी कार्ड देना होता है। लेकिन पूजा का काम इसी राशन पर हो गया था, इसी राशन कार्ड पर जो पता दिया था उससे हो गया था।
This comes after the Maharashtra government submitted its report to the Centre and Department of Personnel and Training after nearly a week-long investigation. The report is a collection of documents obtained from various agencies to test the medical and income claims by Puja Khedkar before joining the services. Meanwhile, the probationary IAS officer's mother, Manorama Khedkar, is in police custody till July 20th, and now an attempt to murder charge has also been added to the FIR against her. And I'm being joined by Mr. Varun Khullar, who's a former bureaucrat with the Ministry of Defence, Mr. Sudhir Krishna, who's a former senior deputy director for Labasna, as well as PK Jain, who's a retired senior IPS officer. Thank you very much, all three of you, for joining us. Mr. Varun Khullar, if I can come to you first, what does one make out of this FIR, which the UPSC has filed? How do you look at it? I haven't heard of such an FIR being filed by UPSC before. Could you put this in context for us?
There have been cases before, definitely. There was a case in this year when one person claimed to be another in ranks, right? This year itself this happened. So the FIR is basically based on the fact that she has changed her name and taken, I think, more than 11 attempts that overall, right? And it's unheard of, somebody taking so many attempts, right? Even with the PH quota, etc. So she basically exhausted her attempts in general, and then she changed her name and then used the quotas, right, using a different identity. So if I think in terms of the UPSC, I think it's high time they apply Aadhar, right, and do a verification of every candidate. It seems very, very odd that if you compare with other organizations, like let's say the IMs who organize CAT, right? There's a facial check, there's a retina check, etc., which when you take the exam, right, that happens. So I think it's high time. The Aadhar-based authentication is utilized for UPSC as well.
So are you saying that a basic verification, like even as ordinary citizens, if we have to go for anything, the first thing that is asked of us is Aadhar? Are you saying that UPSC does not mandate an Aadhar verification?
See, it seems as if, because if it came, right, think about it, she has changed her name, right? So, if the Aadhar number should actually remain the same, right, at least with that. So that should have come out very quickly when she has done that, right? So she should have been caught long before. It has happened too late if I look at it from the outside, right? If let's say she didn't misbehave with the
Okay.
DC and the ADC in Pune, then what? She would not have been caught, right? That is how it's coming out to be,
Right.
right? From the outside, that's how it looks like.
Right. Right. Dr. Sudhir Krishna, if I can ask you this question now. I mean, it's not every other day that UPSC would file a case. But what has also happened in Ms. Pooja's case, it's opened a can of worms. There are so many who are putting out so many other cases that allegedly have walked that path. We don't know confirmation. We have only 4 cases that we've been able to independently confirm. But social media activists are bringing so many others to the fore. Now, these are alleged manipulations. How does the UPSC or Labasna, for that matter, look at all of this, including the Department of Personnel and Training now? How does this go forward? If there are so many allegations, is there a way to look at it?
Well, the Labasna may not have any role in selection of the officers. It only once they are recommended for selection by the UPSC, and after that the appointment letters are issued by the Department of Personnel, and thereafter they are asked to report to the Mussoorie Academy for training. So Mussoorie Academy will have no role to verify the antecedents, etc. So but the verification has to be done by UPSC in the first instance, and afterwards by the DOPT where the matter is under any kind of doubt. And the termination notice or show cause notice has to be issued by the Department of Personnel. Of course, UPSC is entitled because anybody filing fraudulent documents with anybody has got the right to file a police complaint. That's all right. But technically speaking, in my opinion, it is the Department of Personnel having issued the appointment letter will have to issue the show cause notice. And they will have to take the assistance of UPSC, all right. That is one point. Secondly, the UPSC press note, as I see, does not mention about the any fraud in the medical certificate or in the caste certificate. It only mentions about the name, parents' name, email ID, and phone number. 4 items. Email ID and phone number, one can have 2.
Correct.
I don't see anything illegal in that. But the thing is the name. The name cannot be changed, and the parents' names, as other panelists has rightly said, that Aadhar, PAN number, PAN number is also there, and the officer is more than 30-year-old, having been served here and there before. So she is the taxpayer, obviously. PAN number, the other documents are also there. Easily one can check. In today's time, this should not be difficult at all. So the whole procedure that and this is one case which has come to light. It came to light because of situation. Otherwise, it might have escaped the scrutiny, and many might have escaped the scrutiny. Many might have got promoted also in so many years. So the whole lot of situation, the issues are there.
That's true.
And perhaps the UPSC's whole procedure has to be reviewed thoroughly, very thoroughly. It cannot be allowed to, because it is only not one. UPSC is recommending selection and appointment of thousands and thousands of persons in different categories. And UPSC become the role model for state public service commissions. And it is, the way the certificates are being issued now in government service, it is not simply merit. There are so many other classifications, caste, and then income, and the physical disability, and so on and so forth. There are quota and quota and quota. And the certificate, these are all based on the certificates. Who is issuing the certificate, and what is the capacity of the organization to verify the genuineness of the claim? Look at the caste certificate. How it is being issued. Somebody must make a thorough work study of how the caste certificates are being issued. Now, in this case, your other in the beginning, some gentleman was there who said that some ration card was used to claim disability. It is impossible. The UPSC, the rules prescribe that authorized hospitals only can issue the physical disability certificate, and the UPSC cannot accept any certificate issued by XYZ. Only the authorized institutions their certificate is valid. So the UPSC, if they have accepted some ration card based authentication of physical disability, it is surprising. I don't know how it has happened. So there are lots of issues which have to be examined. This case,
Dr. Sudhir Krishna, just a minute. Let me also get in PK Jain at this point. Just give me a few minutes. Let me go to him for the introductory remarks as well. Mr. PK Jain, now look at what has unfolded. Okay, UPSC has gone ahead and filed a FIR, but it does not include all the aspects of the allegations that have come up. It's about the name change. It's not about the various medical certificates that seem to be in contrast to what the claims have been to what the reality seems to be, the way multiple medical certificates for disability were taken at different points of times for different exams. So many aspects to this particular case. PK Jain, you are a stalwart of an organization, of an institution like the UPSC, a product of that is under scanner right now. Has the UPSC and the Department of Personal Training failed? Because all of you, including you, I'm sure, as well as so many senior IAS officers that I have spoken to, say that there is very strict scrutiny that takes place. Multi-layer scrutiny that takes place is what we have been told in the past. That seems to just fall apart.
Good evening, Sneha. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to express my views. See, Puja Khedkar, we should be extremely grateful to her for bringing out these chinks in the system. She has been duping the UPSC and many other organizations. She got her medical examination, medical admission. Then twice or thrice she's joined some other jobs before she made it to this particular case in which she's now been finally caught. She's a serial offender. With every offense that she committed, she became more brazen, she became more arrogant, which resulted into her downfall. And you see the behavior of her parents also. They also have become a victim of whatever she has done or they have done in the past. It is only shocking that for so many years she's been taking UPSC for a ride. You know, so many attempts. The panelist before me very correctly said, nothing prevented the UPSC from introducing the Aadhar, which has been introduced in this country many years ago. So now, had Aadhar been introduced in the UPSC selection system, probably this kind of a thing would not have happened, at least not to the extent of her taking extra chances for her admission. Yes, the other things like the disability certificate, the OBC certificate, the creamy layer certificate, I think Puja Khedkar and the likes of her have tremendous faith in the system, and the system has not failed them. In fact, other than the UPSC, which has now massively added on this,
the system has patronized them, if I may say that. The system has patronized them. Each and every member of the system, right from the doctors to the medical boards, all of them have patronized. Yes, please go ahead,
That's right. I was coming for that, to that only, that it is not only UPSC, it is not only Puja Khedkar who have to be taken to task. It is also the doctors who have been issuing these certificates to her. The caste certificate which has been issued to her. All those people must be made accountable. As you said, whether UPSC has failed, yes, UPSC has apparently failed. And it is not only one case of her kind. There are many other cases which have been brought by the media. The reporters and editors like you have exposed so many other chinks in the system. I remember many years ago, before I had joined the IPS, in fact, IPS used to be a dream. I mean, we never thought that the UPSC would be so much compromised. Before I joined the IPS, there used to be cases in Himachal Pradesh where the students, the candidates used to be adopted by the scheduled tribe parents. There you would write the examination, get selected, and then get disowned. This somehow came to the notice of the powers that be, and this particular loophole was blocked. I'm sure that the physical disability and many other concessions that the candidates are getting are being so brazenly adopted and taken benefit of, and nobody is aware of it. One more thing I would like to say. UPSC, as my earlier co-panelist has said, is a role model. UPSC has held its prestige and reputation quite high over the last so many years. MPSCs have been thoroughly compromised. I know in Maharashtra itself, there are, the chief minister's PA becomes the chairman of the MPSC.
All of us know there are reports after reports every year, something or the other. Corruption in the state public services is everywhere. UPSC seem to have had a sanctity about it, which has kind of collapsed now, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay, let me just quickly get in Mr. Varun Khullar. We don't have much time. Mr. Varun Khullar, if I can just get you in very quickly. And this is concerning. The first FIR which has been filed does not talk about other malpractices which have been indulged in this particular case.
Now,
and that is telling. Why has that aspect not been filed in the FIR?
Perhaps that's because, they still have given a show cause notice and she has to come, and take the medical exam again. So that is the process, right? She, so innocent until proven guilty. But in the case where they could easily figure out that she has misused documents, that she has changed her name, she has taken the exam before, and that's like a clear case, right? She still, we might
Okay,
not know.
explain to us this process. So what's going to happen now? If you could do this quickly, we're short on time. So what
Okay,
happens?
right.
Now you're saying she has to take the medical exam again. What does that mean? Could you quickly take us through
So
this?
basically, let's say anyone, it's not just her, anyone who has been said that, okay, you have a fake certificate, right? That you are not physically disabled, and you, you said you are, and obviously you filed a certificate, and we think it's not correct. So you actually have to present yourself towards the medical board, and then obviously it will come out clearly whether it is like you are guilty or you are fine, right there. But the problem is with her is that she has first of all taken attempts in the general category, then she has taken attempts with the OBC and the PH category. So the problem there is that she has changed her names just to avail these attempts. So that clearly says that something is wrong. About the other part, the DOPT perhaps is more responsible, as I think Sudhir sir said, right? DOPT should be the one terminating her. Definitely, I would say, if anyone. Right, and obviously, she does have the chance to reply to the show cause notice, but I think considering the fact that she has been changing names and whatnot, she's a clear case of fraud. It seems like.
Dr. Sudhir Krishna, last question to you, and very quickly, if I can take this through you. Now, there are, as I mentioned earlier, there are even instances of people within the services now using various kinds of certificates, caste, including disability certificates, to even get their promotions. How is the DOPT now likely to act in the light of these cases that are in public domain? I mean, it's a given that there would have been more cases like this. She can't be the first person to have manipulated the system in this way. It's just that she seemed to have ruffled the wrong feathers when she was, as a young woman IAS probationary officer. She clearly ruffled the wrong feathers, so the can of worms opened in her case. So it's just her sheer bad luck. But sir, how is the and the good luck for the public in this case? But how is this going to unfold now?
Well, I think that wholesale inquiry system has to be rearranged. The whole system of certification of caste and income and physical disability has to be reviewed. And as was said earlier by my co-panelists, state level, the public service commissions are in much bigger mess. And because larger number of employment is coming in government through the state commissions, and what is going on there is not being discussed in Delhi because it is only in remote corners of the country. So this is a matter of should be open to public discussion also, because every other person is involved. If you add physical disability, caste, backwardness, economic backwardness, almost every third person will be involved. So it's a very delicate matter also, a complicated matter also, but it needs to be discussed. Parliament should take it up as a first instance, and government should set up a core group of experts, and they should recommend as to how to tackle this menace of this situation of false certification of these core issues. Because almost more than half the positions are under reservation,
You've made a very important point, sir, and hopefully in the monsoon session of the parliament, we are going to at least hear something on this in the House, because people deserve to know this. And of course, it's not just about the wrong that has been done by Ms. Pooja. It's also the rights of candidates who are eligible and haven't got their right or their deserved right, whether in Ms. Puja Khedkar's case or in several others that are still not out in public domain or proved in public domain. Thank you very much, all three of you. Varun Khullar, Dr. Sudhir Krishna, as well as Mr. P.K. Jain, thank you very much for joining us.